Hello again, Glitch Ripper here, aka the original card game for the win. And, yeah, I'm not sure if it's really trying to get me to play my other deck. I mean, I got that for casual play. I don't think it's really... I'm not sure if it's causing me to do that deck or the other. Anyhow, I had a request to Liliana Vess's campaign, so we'll see if this actually has me play this, or if it has me do my actual deck, because I know I just selected Liliana and then that, but I used that because the last one... Okay, so it switches it to the default deck for this, okay. That was weird, because for the last one there's... I'm gonna have to explain that on the last one. I really am. But, yeah. Now, admittedly in Magic the Gathering, some people just don't exactly resonate with certain archetypes, like, they don't quite get the whole color. So I'm thinking that might be the case where they just, didn't know how to play black, and hence they requested. But yeah, right now I'm starting up with the classic white versus black versus white. Now you might be tempted to unleash yourself here, but it's best to wait a little bit. Let's see if they attack. At least I think I remember that being it. It's been a little while since I've tried this out. I'll play casual and see how it goes. Okay. Time to see if you get ran over. But yeah, you kind of want to bide a little time so you can get your bloodthirsty aerialist powered up a bit. Now this is a fair trade because you'll also get bloodthirsty aerialist powered up again, and still keep that creature. So right now I'm just seeing how momentum goes here. Usually going pretty well. Because I tend to play black a lot, and I'm trying to remember if there was anything different about this run compared with whenever I did it before, but so far, not really. Yeah, that bloodthirsty aerialist is really just an incredibly good card for an uncommon. They're tapped out and have no cards, so that can just be a straight-up block. Oh, Soren's Thirst again. Something's going to go down. I think I will constrict their ability to use any further lifelink. So there goes that cat. And of course, will they block the angel or just let me pound them? Answer is just let me pound them. The computer did not want that angel to get crushed. However, I have life to spare because I gained a lot of momentum. And furthermore now have Vampire from Dire Moon, which has Death Touch and lifelink. They do not have enough to kill this creature, so one of them is getting crushed. I need plenty of life here. This is lifelink in black. It's kind of funny because both black and white have serious amounts of lifelink. Yeah, you only have a few choices here. And I'm pretty sure that's... Wow, I'm actually going faster than last time. Apparently I am, because I think I remember getting to a pacifism card at some point. And then using that on one of these two. But do I want to just... Yeah, I think I have enough to spare that I can just go all out. Just leave that behind, because they don't really have much they can do right now. So I think I remember the next one's going to be pacifism? Yeah. As I said, these pre-ordered decks do that, where they have very exact ways of going, and I guess that's it for this one. I don't even have something to kill. I pretty much wiped them out. Okay, can I use the murder? No, I cannot use the murder card. Because they've just been obliterated. I didn't even get to use that. I could have wound up using that to clear something out of my way, but didn't happen. That was for these cards, by the way. But that's over with, so now it's going to Jace. Which is for these. Again, hover over them to see which ones you're getting for your improved decks. The funny thing is I don't think I even have that deck out for blood registered right now, so it's just using it directly from like the game's of how it's normally constructed. Which is interesting in and of itself. See, in this round I start off with the murder card. And with a Vampire of the Direman. And that can get interesting later. Because these decks are pure colored, so they have a ton of land to help it out. Still wonder why they select that one rather than the one that's about to attack them. But it is a mistake that the computer made exactly as it was. So I get the distinct impression it just was meant to do that. Okay, wait for it so that I can... Or do I want to do it that way? Well, we'll see. But I think you get another one of these later. I'll try to see if I can clear them out later. Winged words. More winged words. They opted not to even try. This nails it out of my way. So that one was epically sent to the graveyard. And Savage Gorger has this ability where they power up at the beginning of your end step if an opponent lost life that particular turn. See, I am actually going to wait a moment on that because that is an instant, so if they attack I can kill exactly what was otherwise going to block. I mean, otherwise what was attacking. And then I can start using this to power up the Savage Gorger. Don't worry about that Fortress Grab. It's not as big of a problem as you might think. This is when it's good to take out something. Save free. I know that seemed a little nonsensical at first, but it will in time. Use this to break a barrier. This will be growing in strength over time. So my Vampire Opportunist can keep draining life. And I can keep powering it up. Now, will they let that get whacked? Probably not, so I'm going to nibble. That powers up my Savage Gorger. Another rather large crab. I have a backup, the Vampire Desire Moon now. Can't I activate my... But those two combined can take this out, so... I'll just see if they take the bait of that one. Oh, they let me take out a flyer. That was bad news for them. Winged Words. So, drawing a couple cards. It basically costs less to cast for a couple of draws if you have a creature with flying. And in this case, it's a heavy flying and drawing deck. As you can see, they're getting whacked hard. Now they did the semi-right thing on the summon, but it's still not really going to help them much in the end. Because as you can see at this point, in black versus blue, they've got about 4 points left. And I have enough life that I can just spare it. Since I have a Vampire Opportunist to spare, they're basically going to be dead next round. Because when my land's on tap, I'll have enough to activate that. And they don't have anything to interfere this time. So, goodbye. Oh. You can just kind of watch the play-by-play. Sometimes you gotta hold on to your creatures if they have good abilities and try to maximize them along the way. And now we're going with red versus black. A couple of Vindictive Vampires in there, which are basically ones that, well, whenever another creature dies, they can kind of siphon life. It was something other than that exact one. Two of them will complement each other, but obviously that only happens for a limited time. In this case, the Child of Night is featuring the early card again. Just saying. Now this is where things get interesting. I can actually afford both of those things in a row. But I don't believe it to be necessary, if I remember right. You block. I Dark Remedy. And nom. And my creature is safe. Just wait till they block, and then power up your life linker there. Spell Gorger weird. Now, remember, they're tapped out, and that thing can be a real hassle later, so you definitely want to kill it, like, immediately. And now, I'm getting to power up my Child of Night, because Thirsting Bloodlord makes all other vampires get +1/+1, just continuously. If you're heavy into like doing a theme deck, like vampires and stuff, there's your card. In this case, I can attack with both. So I have this to help out. It's not entirely safe, but I still get more life out of it. That one does go down, but as you can see now, it's like 29 to 14, and they've drained a lot of their reserves of cards. So sometimes it's about building up a good barrier. And here's a card that's just always fantastic. Knight of the Ebony Legion. There's reasons why this is a rare card. Mainly, its activated ability is nuts. Yeah, +3/+3 until its turn, and Death Touch. It is kind of... wait on that. It's kind of ridiculous. This alone can make this kill. You don't even need to use your instinct. You just crush a dragon flat with this vampire routine. It is actually that kind of nuts. You really don't have any reason why not to activate twice. Just to be sure that they can't throw something at you. And now you've just got the beautiful black creature battering ram. On top of that, another Thirsting Bloodlord. I forgot to activate the ability again, but I think it'll be fine. Sometimes these have a little margin for error. This is where it's probably just like nearly over. Because they literally have 1 point of health left. I don't think that little elemental is going to fare very well. Also, they only have one blocker. So in this case, it's about having just an absurd level of momentum. Slightly excessive, admittedly. But do keep track of what cards I'm playing, because this is pretty much how I did it the first time on all these and just wrecked through completely. But so I think it was just my instincts on doing black really helped me through. So I can't really say if there's like a major mistake players normally make in these particular matches, because I just hadn't made them. I mean, I might do things slightly different, but this time, but I don't know. And again, you get some good cards here, including the Bloodthirsty Aerialist and Savage Gorger that's been working this out so much. And Piper of the Swarm is here for your challenge against green. So when you're going black versus green, there's Liliana versus Vivian Reed. Well, we'll see how this part plays out. Because, again, I just hadn't had those issues that people previously had, so I don't know. I can't really say any particular tips other than kind of watch what I'm doing here. because I just kind of gotten decently instinctive with black over time. Maybe heavily instinctive with black over time. Now, this is when you do want to just go ahead and sacrifice. This will power that up immediately with the lifelink. They'll try to block. You'll also get rid of a potential blocker and mana source, because Llanowar Elves act as a green source themselves. That deprives them of being able to more heavily hit with their green cards, because that keeps the big creatures out of your way that green's well known for. Vindictive Vampire was my next one, but could be off on that. Spinal Centipede combines pretty well because of a particular card, and it'll be coming up fairly soon. Could do Vampire of the Dire by doing this for just reasons. I'll do that other thing later. These two are actually fairly safe to use at this point. And yeah, Generous Stray gives them a card back. So they're trying to look for something. I'm trying to remember what it was, but they're reaching for it. Could do this with that. I'm trying to remember how this goes. I will target that. We'll sacrifice this, because whenever it goes out, you get a +1/+1 counter onto a creature that you control. And because I sacrificed a creature of my own, it triggered Vindictive Vampire because it died. Whenever a creature you control dies with that card, it automatically draws life from your opponents. So you, all opponents take lose one life and you gain one. This is when you're going, do you even really need to? Because, sure, it's a primordial worm, it's humongous, but they're tapped out, and I've got a 5/6 creature and they got 3 points of life. So at this point, it's just, fairly well, computer. It's been real. Sometimes you gotta go with certain complementary things that build up over time like that. So kind of watch for combos that are usually more like various situations that kind of do different things, whether or not they're the exact same trigger, but try to go with different things that complement each other, at least in some way. Not always the exact same situation. And within a deck, sometimes it's better to have more than one combo chain. So, because this deck is self-complementing pretty well, you can kind of see how it heavily relies on certain things, like your creatures dying, death touch, lifelink, and triggering with circumstances like creatures dying or gaining life. So it's an interesting black situation here. Now, it's weird because this last one is very exceptional. This is when you're actually playing an actual person here, very suddenly. Like, the others were all the computer. These were pre-ordered decks, nothing would ever vary. So those situations, I can say, pretty much just do things in the order I did and you'll get through, because I can't tell if there was any mistake somebody was usually making I can give advice on, because I've just kind of been playing black for so long. And, well, I've played all the colors before, yeah, but it's just that I've become an instinctive black player. So it's just where I just do things the way I do them. Like, I'll protect my creatures that I know are good for combos that I have in my deck, or for that matter, that I have in my hand. Because with these pre-ordered decks, you can literally see what's coming up, so you can just kind of pay attention to it like, okay, if I wait to have this out and then the other thing to attack, then I'll gain life, and then it triggers the ability, and then it gets stronger. So you can kind of see where the synergy is coming up just by what you got in your hand, and that's where these pre-ordered sets comes in, because they'll do it pretty much the same way. But this is a whole other issue, and as you can see, it's not giving me the same normal option. Like, this gives you the Out for Blood deck design. It's one of the default decks you get for getting into the game, especially currently, because it kind of changed which complementary decks you get to build with, and you get like those whole collections of cards to reconstruct your own decks. This is one where I'm also going to be showing off a few things having to do with one of my own decks, Luris's Lair. I found out that you can only have one companion at a time, in a way, and in a way not exactly. You can have more one companion that complements a deck, but you can only have one per actual game. Like, when you're playing somebody, you have to pretty much pre-select which companion you're going to be calling for that time. In this case, it's Luris of the Dream Den. But there are other companions possible that might complement this deck. I may or may not have them yet, but if I did, I'd have to select which one I was going to use for this particular fight in advance by clicking on select as your companion before I actually go into any combat with it. So this is going to be a bit different because I'm doing it with one of my decks, not the normal default one for these. And this is also a bit different because you're not getting an actual card per se, you're getting a card style. So I think it's one that comes with the default deck, is Child of Night. So you get a style card for it. And since I'm pretty much just at the end of this, I'll just see how this works here. Now, in this area, again, it's one-on-one, actual player-based, and whenever it's any kind of online, you know that also means quests can be fulfilled. Or at least, that's one thing I should definitely say is a thing. So anything that would normally go with my quest will be happening this time. You could see it was a custom name. It wasn't somebody who was just like the name of the avatar, like Lily, like going against like Chandra Nalar or something like that. Now this, I mean, I could work with that because I'm at least gonna get Timurit out early. We'll see how this goes. Knight of the Ebon Legion. I could go with that. But first, I'm going with Timurit, Chosen from Death. He's a legendary enchantment creature. And he has a scaling toughness. Because it's equal to your devotion to black. Which is basically the number of mana symbols on permanents you control of that color. So he's got a casting cost of 2 black, so he automatically will mean that you'll get a 2 for his toughness. We have a sailor. We have 2 sailors. Now these guys have flash, so unlike most creatures that can be played only on your turn, they can be played at any time. Now they're gonna fly over me anyhow, so there's no reason why I shouldn't attack. See, that doesn't have flash, so I was waiting just in case I was able to use the ability. Oh, Goblin Electromancer. He's going full, is it? Also, and high. Remember I was using Knight of the Ebon Legion as a battering ram? Well, that's going to be happening again very soon. Castle Ardenvale. Nice to see you. Not blocking. Oh. Wrong one. At least there's a cancel button for times like that. And also remember, this one gets a +1/+1 counter every time that you get 4 or more damage on an opponent in a round. So you'll keep getting stronger. They have a guild mage. Yeah, it's tapped out, so therefore. However, I can also do things. A very interesting thing. Or do I want to? I don't think so yet. Okay, they can't actually kill him. Well, they can, but it'll take both of them. Oh, unsummoning, huh? I'll hold off so I can block him later. Thinking about using that. They took the hit. Okay. Oh. Well, that's a reason for me to play Luris. Because now I officially have something in the graveyard. So therefore, his ability will be needed. Time for you to see a bit of something special. It's called I'm powering up Luris now and sailing back. I can barrier them a bit. Oh, and once you have your companion cast from outside the game, they afterwards count as just part of the game as normal, so they could return them to my hand. I mean, they're not a token. They have a lot of unsummoning here. Oh, come on, Swamp. Be cool. me an opening. Oh, that's a walker. 1,000-Year Storm. They get to copy stuff like crazy. Now I'm really finally get to show off really special ability. Something has a converted mana cost of 2 or less. Bring it back to my grave. They might be getting a little cautious here, but they still won't be able to block with everything and take them out. Do they have... Nope, I don't have any creatures in the graveyard right now. Their graveyard. Well, never mind. One just got sent there, so I can use Timrit's special ability to get myself even more life gain. And make sure that it doesn't come down. Oh, that's a big one. I see you have a large Drake. Normally that would be a problem, but I kind of have a solution to that. Sort of. Actually, I see it might be time to use this. So, Assault Run. Now, that one, I've got Indestructible, Vigilance, and all my creatures have a +1/+1 counter suddenly. That one has an addendum ability. It means if you cast it during your turn rather than using it as a normal instant, then, or at least during your turn, then you get a bonus effect. So, I get to go wild for a little while. I was trying to say that faster, but sometimes you just can't. It was a good game. That's the point that you normally would have gotten that card style. So, yeah, that's basically been Liliana Vess's campaign, but I don't know why they do this last one so differently. You'd think it would just be one dedicated to the last color, which in this case would be black versus black, but no. I faced a random person, and they were going Izzet style with red and blue. What I mean by Izzet style is that's considered the guild of red and blue in Ravnica, so there you go. But, yeah, I'd say that that was an interesting run. And, let's see, could I even get... maybe. But that's something for me to deal with on my own at some point, but... yeah. Anyhow, the art, just so you know, the Friday Night Magic at Home thing this time is called Artisan Style. There's certain things that are banned for this particular event, but for the most part, you're making a standard deck that's limited to commons, uncommons, and basic lands. So regardless of rarity, even if it's an uncommon or common land, if it's not a basic one, it doesn't count. Now, you can actually have some uncommon legendaries, so... That's fine if they're able to be considered an uncommon. But there are certain things that are banned for this event. It's Healer's Hawk, admittedly that one's hard to say fast. That's not just my lips, that's just hard to say very quickly. Persistent Petitioners, Cauldron Familiar, Cavalcade of Calamity, Gates Ablaze, and Veil of Summer. They're all ones that are banned for this exact event, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're banned in general. It just means, right, for this event, they're banned. So you can't use them when you're constructing a deck designed based on that. Also, although it says your 60-card standard deck, that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be just 60 cards. You can go over for this. It's just that 60 card minimum. So just so you know the rules of this event, even though I'm not going to show it here because I've already been through it and even made a deck based around it. Although I can show you kind of what my basic design was. Because, again, it's based entirely around, like, commons and uncommons. But with this, I was able to fit in quite a bit. And I don't know why I tend to go for singleton and large decks so much, but it's just how I tend to work for some weird reason. But I've got an interesting mix of stuff in here. You can see that for some weird reason, I finally decided to play semi-monocolor. I mean, I got a few things with mixed mana symbols, but nothing requiring something other than a plains. Every last land in this deck is just a plains. And I went all the way through and had even some uncommon legends like Sir Alan the Lion's Claw. Now, there's a legendary knight. And a few other things in here that were just intimidating for an uncommon, or even a common for that matter. There's some things that are pretty nasty for a common. I mean, if you want something to act like a wall and then crush things, Roving Keep will work. And that's like the big weapon there. It's like, oh, it's literally a walking castle, and it just stomps you. So, yeah, so you can get some interesting things off common and uncommon. Always respect the little guys. And I can certainly say that's going to be it for now. So I'll be logging off. I'm glad to be able to get you the tips and tricks for the black campaign on Color Challenge, even though I didn't really have any specific, like, this would normally give you treble tips, because, again, I've just done it so much with playing black that I don't know what anybody would be doing wrong. So I can't say for sure that's it. Although I was able to say that sometimes you gotta hold back just to keep your creatures alive and use them for the combo, because that's a big thing. Is think of them kind of like living enchantments sometimes. They have an effect you can use, so use it. So it's kind of just a thing to do. I've just been doing it so long, it's just kind of become natural for me. So sorry if I didn't really get any specific pointers that were giving people problems, because I have no idea what was going wrong. But I'll be out for now. So hope to hear from you all later. Bye for now, everybody, and remember, MTG forever.